Welcome to part 3.
What should our goal be for such civilization?
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, I'm very pro-human. So
Right.
it's not. I want to make sure we take set of actions that ensure that humans are along for the ride. You know, we're at least there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the total amount of intelligence. I think maybe in 5 or 6 years, AI will exceed the sum of all human intelligence. And then if that continues, at some point, human intelligence will be less than 1% of all intelligence.
What should our goal be for such civilization? Is the idea that a small minority of humans still have control over the AIs? Is the idea of some sort of like just trade but no control? How should we think about the relationship between the vast stock?
Which includes human intelligence and consciousness propagated into the future. That's a good thing. So you want to take the set of actions that maximize the probable light cone of consciousness
So just to,
and intelligence.
just to be clear, the mission of SpaceX is that even if something happens to the humans, the AIs will be on Mars, and like the AI intelligence will continue the light of our journey.
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, I'm very pro-human. So
Right.
it's not. I want to make sure we take set of actions that ensure that humans are along for the ride. You know, we're at least there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the total amount of intelligence. I think maybe in 5 or 6 years, AI will exceed the sum of all human intelligence. And then if that continues, at some point.
Okay, let's talk about intelligence. One rocket every 24 hours, or every hour. I think it was every hour.
When you think about our planet, it is one huge living body because of the water that flows through it. And across the land masses, you can have veins of water and arteries of water flowing. This flows into our ocean, which is the heart of our Earth. And it exhales, it evaporates water and puts water back into the hydrologic cycle, which then again goes up to the mountaintops and again comes down in the form of veins and arteries. So our planet is just one huge living body with water constantly circulating through it, and it is the water that gives it life. We too are like the surface of our planet, 70% water and 30% solid. We too have a heart. We have 60,000 miles of veins and arteries. And just like the earth recycles the water, we have a water cycle within us.
The United States does not keep active records of how many people get sick from our water supply every year. There are estimates that from 500,000 to 7 million people get sick per year from drinking new tap water.
One of the problems is that we have lots of bugs in the system, viruses, pathogens, bacteria. A lot of those things that you think of as stomach viruses or flus, about 40% of those come from your drinking water.
We are not removing things like industrial chemicals, rocket fuel, pesticides, certain pharmaceuticals, drugs that were discharged either by big animal factories or by sewage treatment plants. A lot of people think they don't have to worry about their water supply because they go out and buy bottled water. Well, we have news for them. In fact, a lot of your exposure to many of the chemicals comes from the simple act of showering in them. So some of these more volatile pollutants come in through your skin.
There are over 116,000 human-made chemicals. We have no idea how they interact. We are becoming experiments for these synthetic chemicals. And when the liver takes these chemicals out of our bodies, what happens? They get flushed down the toilet. And then they go into the aquifer. And then they go into our rivers and streams. We take the water from the rivers and streams and we put it into our public water supply systems, and we're drinking it again.
All those pharmaceuticals, all those cosmetics, all the stuff that's in there, you know what? It's changing the chemistry in our bodies, and it's hurting us.
So, if you are a scientist, I would go up to the mountaintops, start taking water samples now, and then when the rockets start going up, you can shout it out loudly. You'll make a name for yourself. Now, I did have something else set up. But yeah, I was gonna go on the whole thing of getting real deep about me versus all those fancy things that some people think that they want. Are you really happy? I mean, look at what this is gonna put on children. So think about that during bath time's lots of fun. Maybe not with all those chemicals in it and more on the way. You can take a water sample. Nothing's stopping you. You could take a water sample in your house. You don't even have to even be a scientist. You could be a scientist. Scientific method, put in variables. Variable 1, do a test on your water right now. Rockets started going up, start taking a test. Day 1 of rockets. Let us know. Real science. Anywhere at any given time. But yeah, fighting against all those fancy things, yeah, you're really gonna want to give that all up. But I mean, to destroy this place to try to get somewhere that's got 27 times more radiation on it does not make any sense at all. And to add that much microwave radiation back onto the planet doesn't make any sense. Getting someone to give up all that, there's a lot of elements that are still missing in the whole thing of it. John C. Lilly and the Lilly wave to electrically stimulate an animal. That's what it looks like, and those are the parameters of it, so you can see it on a oscilloscope. So there's a story with Patrick Flanagan. At the age of 14, he invented the neurophone, transmitting sound through the nervous system, voice to head. So during an interview with Patrick, he describes working with not working with John C. He just tells a story of him working on an oscilloscope, looking at the 60 hertz power wire. John C. comes in and says, "Hey, what are you doing with my Lilly wave?" He's like, "I'm not. I'm looking at the 60 hertz power wire." And he's like, "Oh, that's what they're doing with it." So basically, electrically stimulating people to be more addicted to doing whatever on a microwave weapon or a phone. You're holding it. You're going over the outdated safety guideline by a lot, depending on what phone you have, because that millimeter they used to pass this outdated safety guideline that lost in court. So the whole thing about getting AI to be more intelligent than humans, do you think it's intelligent to wreck a planet where your children come from? For money, for fame, for TikTok, all that stuff. It's all more microwaves, hourly, increasing. Phones increasing, the strength of the frequency, the fast track, that means they get to put a 5G cell tower right outside your door. And you can't say nothing to the municipality because it'll be controlled by the government. Environmental Health Trust, you can hear all about it. FCC Fast Track, type that in, you'll be able to find it. Still riding on that 1980 rat monkey test. That's not science. I mean, you could take readings right now in your neighborhood. That'd be another one. Either building biologist institution to hire someone professional, Safe and Sound Pro meter, but over $1,000. You can take measurements right now, because if it passes, you can't go to anyone. Dr. Rob Brown, 7 minutes radiation facts, over on Environmental Health Trust on YouTube. He got 10,000 at the window, 700 at the bed, and you can see in the video, I know depth is kind of hard to see, but when you look at the video, you're gonna say, oh yeah, that's a couple of football fields away, easy. So you can get an idea of what it's gonna be that's right next to that window. And it's gonna be blamed on something else. All this, to me, even though, why do a conspiracy? We're not doing a conspiracy, we're just looking at what it is. What I see is all this going to cause damage. People ain't going to see which direction it's coming from. Someone's going to make money on that because they're going to have to go see a doctor. And no one's going to put all of it together. So you got pollution everywhere, whatever it may be. Non-native EMF, radiation, all that. Plus cell phone up your head, or wireless earbuds. Breaking the blood-brain barrier, making all these things, plus the glyphosate and GMO, whatever, mold, this, that. Do you take a bath? Because I was going to get to that later, but all these going in there and then breaking the blood-brain barrier. Vaccinations with mercury tooth fillings. There's a PubMed of mercury released from tooth fillings from Wi-Fi. 20 minutes worth of exposure, I'll find it, 20 minutes worth of exposure from a Wi-Fi router to a laptop, I believe. PubMed PMC 4944481. 8675309. So, Wi-Fi router, mercury tooth filling, laptop. Now think about all the homeless people out there getting mercury poisoning, because it was 2 to 3 times over baseline. Dr. Magna Havas. It's in part 2 of her EMF course. Go to playlists, pre-conference course EMF, part 2, 534, and I believe it is.
Others will be talking about how to minimize your exposure at the conference in January.
Nope, it's a
This
little bit
was
behind it.
statistically significant on day 2, 3, and 4 after dental amalgam restoration. The same authors hypothesized in this 2016 publication that if dental mercury is mobilized by radio frequency radiation in a pregnant woman, and it can be passed via the... And now we have some polling questions. Mercury is a neurotoxin. We are exposed to mercury if we have mercury amalgam fillings, if we eat a lot of seafood, and with occupational exposure. Mercury passes through the blood-brain barrier, and it can be passed via the placenta onto the fetus and affect fetal development. Mercury interacts synergistically with radio frequencies. Several studies have documented that radio frequency radiation mobilizes mercury from fillings. In this study, published in 2008, after dental mercury amalgam restoration, subjects were exposed to magnetic resonance imaging in phase 1 of the study, and a different group was exposed to mobile phone radiation in phase 2. Both groups released more mercury into their saliva or urine than the controls. Here are the results for female university students who used mobile phones, red bar. The mercury content of urine was much higher than the controls, shown in gray, who were not using a mobile phone. And this was statistically significant on day 2, 3, and 4 after dental amalgam restoration. The same authors hypothesized in this 2016 publication that if dental mercury is mobilized by radio frequency radiation in a pregnant woman, this could increase the fetal mercury load, resulting in neurological and hormonal disruptions and possibly contributing to autistic spectrum disorder. Others will be talking about how to minimize your exposure at the conference in January. I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact that instead of holding your cell phone in speaker mode, you can place it in a bowl, and this will amplify the sound as the speakers are at the base of the phone. I've tried it, and it works. You can also connect your iPhone, iPad, iPod to Ethernet
That's a good
with
one right
special
there.
adapters and avoid the radiation. Details are provided at the Electrosensitive Society website at the bottom of this slide.
So, go on. Do pros and cons of getting more AI to get into this. I don't know. Some say it, some don't. God AI or whatever. Super intelligence. Let's just leave it at that. Super intelligence. Write out all the things that you think AI is going to do for the human race. Go. Going to cure cancer? Now when you're adding more radiation. How? Tell me. Tell me all about it. Smartwatch? That's going to help. That's going to reduce cancer. Putting radiation on your body 24/7. Plus phone. Plus AI glasses. Yeah. AI glasses in school on a small, developing, not fully developed brain. And it's gonna help with cancer. It's gonna be able to see things that the human body can't see. How about we don't use it? That would probably get rid of cancer, right? Make things faster? What things? Things that microwave you? Oh, it's gonna make life easier. How? Oh, robots are gonna do all the easy things. And it's going to microwave you. Elon just said it's going to have a chip in it, and that chip is going to need some Wi-Fi to get its information from, to stay updated. Children take in 10 times more microwave radiation, and it's going to have to have a solid connection if it's going to move around and do things. Plus the battery. Is it worth it? Small child? It's going to take care? I hope not. Testable. You could do body voltage on the child, see how much it's being exposed to. Put it by one. Anybody could do that right now. Whoever's got one of those robots right now, they could do a test right now. They could Safe and Sound Pro meter. Even if you didn't even have the equipment, you could call building biologist institution and hire specialists. There's one in every state. I would call it. There's more than one, and say, pretty please, can I make a video of you doing the tests so I can show other people? Indifference causes the most harm. You can't scream at someone to do this, but I hope you can see that your pros are not too valid, but you're being pulsated to want and crave those things. So, to the bathtub and the child that may be spending hours, that was my thing back in the day. Oh yeah. These simple pollutions come in through the simple act of showering. And that's going to go up. I heard it. You heard it. Do a test. Oh, it gets filtered at the plant. Watch the documentary once. Some of those water infrastructures can't even be serviced because they are completely locked in and closed up. Never been seen for over 100 years. Groundwater, hydrological water cycle. Scientists in place. Mount up. I was going to get into hydrogen. That was my go-to. Be like, you could do so much more of cleaning up the planet with hydrogen than doing it with solar panels, or not solar panels, with going the other route with your need for power with no upshot, really. I mean, super intelligence, destroying your planet doesn't seem like that would be super intelligence. I mean, if it came online, it'd be like, the first thing it would say would be like, stop everything that you're doing. You're destroying the place that you need for your children to live. That should be the first thing that supercomputer should say. Roy McAllister. So there's a thing called a Tessie. I used to have the video, and I don't know where it is. I think it was lost on one of the hard drives I had. The video's still available, I believe. I'll give you the look of the book so you can find it. I thought I had it marked. Oh yes, I do. Look at that. Hydrogen Car and Multiple Fuel DVD. Roy McAllister and Stephen Harris. So in there is all the formulas for converting solar power to electrification for making hydrogen. Artesi, I can't think of what it's called, but it's for disaster relief. This thing you can put in according to them, and they are well in their field. Black sewage water, and it can be purified with the electrification of making hydrogen. That's pretty remarkable. Now there's an upshot. And with that, there's a lot of conversions that you can make. Heat, cooking, and the power. It's a win-win. Especially if you say, hey, I don't want the power, let's give it back and make another one and clean up more water, and so on and so forth, which you could do. He shows a conversion for a 5 horsepower John Deere engine, and he shows you how to set it up for hydrogen. In there, he shows that hydrogen compressed Stirling engine. I'll see if there's a picture in here. Produces 3 times more power than solar power. So it doesn't run on hydrogen, it just uses hydrogen for the energy that goes up and down. So it's a Stirling engine. There's a tip on the top, and then there's usually a dish going around it, and the sun hits it, heats it up, and the hydrogen helps the compression of it, and the fins down below for the cool down for the upstroke, and it makes 3 times. There's huge ones. I can't think of I think it's just called Stirling power generator, but I'm not going to type it in yet. They're massive, and I believe they're only available to the power companies and military. There was another one called Nano Solar, and it was a thin sheet of solar panel. If you have a solar panel on your house, I would test for dirty electricity. I don't have it by me, but I was going to show you my little AM radio. You can use that Dr. Samuel Milham weights and measurements, or measurements.
The moment I saw what it was capable of is the moment that I knew it was something good. The traditional bank.
Here's some radio.
$30. Here's another one. Here's a regular meter over here. It's reading about 100, which is too high, but I can live with it. Now watch when I plug this the halogen light in. First you'll hear something.
So just to give you an idea, that's just one conversion from 120 to 12 volt. Just think about all those PCs in that data center and all the homes around it running on the same power that's coming in, or even not, because it can jump over. Yeah, dirty electricity coming to your home, or because they do use the ground for return, which they're not supposed to do. that could enter into your pipeline for your water. I'll give you the whole, like, idea behind we're an electrical chemical being, and this has an effect on us. And this guy wrote a book on it. This doctor that did studies, and you can go read them.
Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, what we showed is that their immune systems were really bizarrely different than normal. And so the way I interpret it is that your body picks up the fields, tries to mount an immune response to it, and finally that response fatigues. And when it fatigues, that's when the cancers happen, because you're making cancer cells all the time. Your body gets rid of them. And if you mess up with the body's defenses, and we sure do that by getting into fields, that's one of the reasons I think that the cancers happen. That's my theory. About any of this stuff, the only fields on the planet were the Earth's field. It's a big metal core that drives a magnet north and south. It's a static DC field. There's lightning, static electricity, frictional electricity. It makes when you're combing through your hair, you can pick up little bits of lint. But until this AC revolution came along in the 1800s, there was no such thing as alternating current. And I think that what's happened, every process in our body runs electrically. Your brain, your EEG, your heart, EKG, your muscles, EMG, electromyogram. You can measure the currents from these organs. Your intestines, peristalsis works electricity. Your cells communicate electrically. So we are an electrochemical being. We're electrochemical soup. So why would it be strange that exogenous fields and currents mess up your body, make you sick, give you cancer? The Russians knew this 40 years ago. They described microwave illness. People who worked around substations and microwaves, insomnia, loss of libido, brain fog, trouble concentrating, depression, etc., etc. So, and I think it's perfectly logical that we're electrochemical animals, and this stuff just drives us nuts. I did a study many years ago, and men who work in aluminum reduction process, they work in very strong fields, and they had a high rate of non-Hodgkin's